my people. Hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. Hit that like button for me right there. It'd be very much appreciated. Also, make sure you subscribe. I am putting together a really rad giveaway for 2,000 subscribers. We are at 1,250, which is quite a bit away from 2,000, but I think we can hit 2,000 within the month if we all hit the subscribe button. That would be nice. Also, there's a link to Patreon in the description. Every bit of the money that goes into Patreon goes towards knives for content and then giveaways. Make sure you check out DNK Knives. Mr. Don Farmer has been extremely awesome at to the channel by helping me out, and it's very much appreciated. And if you do purchase something from there, use this coupon code behind the edge 10 to get yourself 10% off of your order. Also, guys, please go out and check out the small channels like Apex Alchemy, Ken Faulkner, Knife Dope, and all the small guys out there that are putting out some really awesome content and different stuff. And that's it. Today, we're going to talk about brand loyalty. Brand loyalty from the rabid and insane all the way down to the subtle loyalty that you have towards a brand that you don't even probably think about sometimes. Which brands attract and keep customer and user loyalty. And for the sake of this video, I'm going to focus mostly on American-owned companies and production knives in general. Because there's a lot of loyalty to individual custom knife makers out there, but a lot of those knives are unobtainable for 90% of people or more. So, we're just going to talk about production mostly. I myself have a little brand loyalty or favoritism towards certain brands. I'm attracted to their knives mostly because of what experience I've had with them or am still having with their product. Tickles my fancy, so to speak. First of all, get it right out the way. The obvious triad or holy trinity, the Strider, Hinderer, Chris Reeves. Those are absolutely obvious, as most of the brands are, but I got a lot of knives out on loan, so I don't have any of those available right this second. But I've made a list of like the top 6 that I think, and these are just my opinions as usual. The top 6 that command serious brand loyalty, like people are dead set on the brand, which is cool. Then you got some honorable mentions that I'm like Kershaw. I don't have a lot of Kershaws. This is my only one at the moment. This is an old USA made in ATS 34. Does not have a pocket clip. Big old handle, very comfortable. It used to have a pouch that you wore on your belt. This was my grandfather's, I believe, because I got it out of his toolbox after he had passed away. So I'm gonna keep it forever. I do use it sometimes, mostly out in the yard and stuff. Very, very sharp, hollow ground, tiny blade compared to the handle. It's an old one, but I enjoy it and I like it. And it's probably the knife I've had the longest. I've had this for at least 15 years or so. And these are quite rare. Obviously, it's not worth anything, and I wouldn't sell it if it was, but there you go. Also, Gerber, who used to have a huge cult following until they died in a terrible masturbation accident. But from what I've seen, they're starting to care again. So we'll see what happens with them. They used to have a huge following, but that's kind of fell off. You got brands like Medford, Bark River, Ontario, Demco. Those are not in the top 6, but they do have a following. It might not be a cult following, but they have a very robust loyalty fan base. So number 6 is ProTech. I do not have a ProTech on hand, but the reasons for ProTech, in my opinion, is they just have cool factor. They're very gentlemanly, and they are very consistent as a brand with their product. And they're moving up the list quite a bit, especially since they've been putting out a lot of manuals. They've jumped into 20CV, S35VN, and MagnaCut instead of the old school standard 154CM. So that was a good move by them. So you can't hardly find a Mordax or a what's the other button lock. They sell out really, really quickly. I forget the freaking name. It's the Malibu. Yeah. Number 5. A lot of people are going to think this should be higher on the list, but it's not only because I don't particularly care for them. Benchmade. The reason being they've been around forever. They have tons and tons of models, excellent customer service, and they stay pretty consistent. I think they are moving in a little bit of a bad direction with their pricing, but what are you going to do? I don't particularly care for most Benchmades. There's quite a few I do like, and they're okay. They're just kind of bland to me, But I'm not going to dwell on that because I'll probably lose a couple subscribers for saying that. Anyway, number 4, Microtech. Again, don't have any right here. But Microtech has been around forever. They led the innovation when it came to automatics and out the fronts. Absolute cool factor. They have broad price ranges and different models, and I like Microtech. The only thing I can ever say that's kind of suspect about them is their soft heat treats, but who does a lot of cutting with a freaking Microtech anyway? Very few people. I'm sure somebody does, but still, very few people. Number 3 could also probably be a little higher on the list, but it is Spyderco. And as everybody knows, I'm an absolute slut for Spydercos. They led innovation whenever this became a thing, with pocket clips, compression locks, crazy amounts of different models, different in their design philosophy, the leaf-shaped blades, and a lot of people say they're ugly, and a lot of them are, but one thing you can't say is they don't cut, because they absolutely cut, and they cut well. Another thing is their price ranges from the budget on up to the quite expensive. And there's just about a Spyderco for anybody out there. So they're probably the brand that I'm most loyal to, but and I like them the most. But number 2, I have 0 of these knives, nor do I want any, and that is Case Knives. They are the original of the American pocket knife. Most of their knives are traditional, but they do have some modern stuff out now. I didn't particularly care for any of the models, so I haven't picked any of them up. And they have a huge nostalgia following. It's just, the first knife that you seen your grandfather had was more likely a Case or a Buck. And that's another one that was on the honorable mention, was Buck Knives. I forgot to put that on there. But Case Knives has an absolute cult following. Mostly older people that I've seen, but there's younger guys out there that are digging them, and they're okay for what they are. They're just not my jam, but that's number 2. And number 1, in my opinion, that has the biggest cult following in history. They are very rabid about it, and that is Cold Steel. I'm a Cold Steel fan, but I'm not considered what most Cold Steel fans are. Most Cold Steel fans are just dead set, die hard, won't carry nothing else. And they have a cool factor. They have a strength and robust and toughness factor that I like. And their brand philosophy in general, especially when Lynn Thompson was heading everything, it just catered to the working man, to the guy who wanted to be a freaking ninja, knife fighting. As far as like the Filipino knife fighting thing went, but they have maintained an extreme loyalty base, and that's cool. And they have a great product. I like them, but not for the same reasons as most Cold Steel fans do. Lots and lots and lots of models, ranging from the inexpensive to the quite expensive. So those are my top 6 there, in my opinion. And the keys to their successes, and also in my opinion, is remaining consistent, because nobody's perfect, especially these bigger companies that are pumping out crazy amounts of knives, trying to stay away from controversy, being honest and transparent. If your knife is not made in the United States, make sure it says it isn't. I think this one's kind of ironic. It's called the American Lawman, and it's made in Taiwan. But what can you do? It's an excellent knife. They're not hiding anything from anybody. Customer service, absolutely important. Also, having a good product that works well. I know that's a broad term. That can mean anything from heat treat to QC to anything. But, it's important when it comes to running a company. And last, staying current and listening to the community. Because you have to stay current. You couldn't put this knife out right now. It wouldn't sell a single unit. Not one. Nobody would buy this knife if this was a brand new model. You got to put stuff out that people want to see, that they've never seen before. There's other companies like TRM that are moving on up the totem pole. I think they need some more models. They make an excellent product. They are made in the United States. Their designs are excellent. Their design philosophy is very basic and plain, but it works really well. I like how you can customize the absolute shit out of these knives, and that's cool. And then you have Tactile Knife Co. They're coming up. Starting to put out more models, which is also awesome. I'm going to do I've been carrying this knife every day lately. I'm going to do a follow-up video on this one soon, and probably going to test this knife as well, because I've heard people complaining about the 60 to 61 heat treat on the 20 CV. I think it'll be fine, but I want to see how it performs. Also, this will be the grand prize in the 2,000 subscriber giveaway, so we're going to give that bad boy away. That's all I got for you guys today. I'm not going to drag this video out much longer. If you have some brands that I missed or just completely forgot about, let me know in the comments. And let me know in the comments which brand you are absolutely faithful to. Loyal, faithful, and they just can't do no wrong in your eyes. Let me know in the comments. All right, guys, be good to each other, love each other, be nice, and don't be a stupid cunt. Later.